Hello everyone. I want to share today this video, is Wendi afraid of Charlie? And I want to talk about the question, is Wendi Adelson actually afraid of her brother Charles Adelson? Because he is in jail right now, held without bond for first-degree murder of her ex-husband, Dan Markel. Or is there just bad blood that has been brewing for way longer than we can even imagine? So I want to thank you guys because we started a conversation on homepage of YouTube, which I really love that feature. And if I'm ever looking for ideas, I love any input. This is such a great community and so positive, and we're just finding so much information and sharing every day. So I just want to keep the momentum going for this case, and maybe I'll take a break at some point, but right now I just want to kind of push through the content. And if we have more ideas for this video, we'll do a part 2. So it's as easy as that. And I just want to get right to the first idea of setting up the stage of, is Wendi afraid of Charlie? And kind of setting up the stage for maybe Wendi's defense theory of the bad joke. And I talked about this in the first video, the joke, and then also the joke versus the statement. And we all know the joke, Charlie buying Wendi a TV was cheaper than hiring a hitman to kill her ex-husband. And this case has many different themes, and the TV is one of them, and the joke is also one of them. But repeating these things is also one of them in this family, repeating bad jokes. And Wendi said this joke wasn't funny. She's trying to separate herself from him, which I think is probably the best thing, and her lawyers have probably told her to do that from the start. All right, and then Wendi also mentions Charlie's thug life. He thinks he's street smart, and he's kind of this doctor, lots of education, that he got to be a periodontist, and then at night, he likes to live the lifestyle of bars, women, drugs, and Miami lifestyle. So Wendi does mention that when prompted, and she likes to say that she drives a minivan. She doesn't know about her brother, etc., etc., and separating herself from Charlie. That's, might not be enough to be afraid of him. She kind of downplays some of his drug use and going out in her testimony, but we could stay tuned to see if that could change now that he's arrested. Her opinions of him might change, and her thoughts, she might dig deeper into her memories and recall other behaviors that she wants to share. Also, Wendi kind of separating herself from Charlie. I noticed no calls to Charlie in jail from Wendi, and of the calls that were the most frequent, none of those were from her phone number. They were all identified, and none of those were from her phone number. So if she is communicating to him, it's in short bouts. If she jumps on the phone from mom or dad, or through letters, which we wouldn't know about, or video calls, which I just found out that the inmates get tablets. I might do another video on that. But anyway, she's doing a good job separating herself from Charlie in jail. So there's no wiretaps. I've yet to hear Wendi on any of the wiretaps. She must have like a sixth sense, you guys, of like knowing that the police were involved. Maybe she had an inside tip. She might have wanted to tell her family that the police were onto them or something. She just kind of stayed out of any of the phone calls. Some people have said she might have used WhatsApp to communicate with her brother. Maybe that's how they do talk, but now they can't talk anymore at all. She's not on any of the wiretaps. Nobody called her after the bump. She seems to not be, in that circle, the closest circle, the first layer, as, Charlie, Sigfredo, and Katie talk about the first layer. Anyway, so another thing I noticed, like some distance between Charlie and Wendi, like I did not see her on this private airplane that was taking off from Miami that had Clarissa Libredo and Erica Johnson and also June Umchenda, and I don't recall Wendi being on that airplane. She might have been, I don't know. I have some sources that can kind of vouch for this airplane, that I do not think Wendi was on a private jet. But, if anyone knows anything, let us know, or who paid for this private jet up to Tallahassee. Anyway, I want you guys to kind of put your thinking caps on for this one and just kind of like wrap your brain around this theory that I was just thinking the other day, that, you know, Wendi tells Jeffrey Lacoste that, you know, this joke, and Jeffrey Lacoste knew the joke, but then Jeffrey says that it kind of turned into a statement of her parents were going to hire a hitman, or her family was looking into hiring a hitman for $15,000 or $50,000. And part of me thinks, like, was Wendi like actually trying to send out a lifeline to Jeffrey Lacoste? It was either a lifeline or just, don't mess with my family and this is what happens. I mean, it's probably, it could also be somewhere in the middle, like she just didn't know what to do. She's hearing this is going on with her family and she's kind of shocked, scared. She doesn't know it's a lifeline. It's like a knee-jerk reaction. Or it's just, you know, don't mess with us. And I just was thinking that the other day, and maybe like, don't tell on us either, or we might get you. We're not blaming anyone. We're just looking at this from all angles. And let me know your thoughts below. And also, I want to thank everyone in the chat for all your ideas. I might do a part 2 because you guys are always coming up with such great ideas. But I wanted to thank Andrea P. and also Angela for just driving home the point that I can't even believe I didn't add this to the list. But, you know, Charlie could flip on Wendi. He could just say he's involved and also drag her into this mess. And let's say she was involved or she wasn't, you know, either way, you know, she is just trying to kind of distance herself, probably at the advice of her lawyers, to just kind of stay out of this. Just kind of how June has said she's kind of tried to stay away from Charlie now that more news and evidence has come out. Thank you so much for listening to this video and others. And I hope you guys enjoy. I hope it starts a conversation and helps us keep the facts straight of this very, very confusing case. And I really appreciate your comments and insights and ideas for content. And I'm loving just going into this upcoming trial. We'll probably have tons of free time to look over this evidence. And I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Have a good one.